Hello everyone, welcome to another ranking video. Today I'll be doing a ranking for actually a director's filmography as opposed to a movie series. But you could argue that these movies are linked, they take place in the same universe, they technically are a series, whatever. I thought I'd do Quentin Tarantino's movies just because I was a very big fan of his movies back in high school. And yeah, I think he's a great director. He's definitely had some mistakes in some of his movies, which I'll talk about. Some poor decision making, but I think overall he makes some fine movies, and he's such a big fan of movies in general. Also, he does some great tributes to different directors and different movies throughout his own works. So yeah, I thought I'd talk about his movies as a director. And I will not include, movies like Natural Born Killers or True Romance. These are just strictly movies he's directed. His 8 movies, as he likes to call them. But really it's 9, because Kill Bill was 2 movies. But I know it was 1 production, so technically, you know what I'm saying. Anyways, we got 9 movies here, and let's talk about them and rank them. So, coming in at 9th place is Death Proof. Now, obviously, this is the Grindhouse double feature with Planet Terror from Robert Rodriguez. Great movie. Now, Death Proof is not bad or anything. It's just the one movie of his I never really want to watch. It's got some great stuff in it. Great car sequences, great dialogue. Kurt Russell is fantastic as Stuntman Mike. Great evil character. And the car sequence at the end of the movie is really good. Really fantastic. But this movie overall is just not really doing much for me. It never really did. It's good, but it's just, I don't know, something about it just doesn't work for me. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen it the least amount of times. Like, I've seen all his movies like 1,000,000 times, but Death Proof I've probably only watched like 5 times. But that's not like a negative, really. It's just not really one I want to watch too much. Just my own personal take on it. But it's still a great movie, very well made. Kurt Russell's definitely the best part about it, but Death Proof, good movie, just my least favorite. Now, coming in at 8th place is going to be Kill Bill 1 and 2. I thought I'd talk about them at the same time. Now, if you want me to, say which one do I like better, I like the first one better. I think it just works overall better as, in terms of, like, memorable scenes and stuff like that, and action and whatnot. But Volume 2 is definitely a better movie, I can tell. It's got a slower pace and all that. It doesn't really have many memorable parts in it as compared to the first movie. But, like, personal preference, I would say I like Volume 1 better, but I am aware Volume 2 is, like, the better movie. But anyways, Kill Bill 1 and 2, I have these ranked kind of low. Nothing against them or anything. It's just not my personal, as compared to all his other movies, Kill Bill 1 and 2 aren't as, like, good for me. I used to love these movies when I first saw them. I thought they were, like, his best. But I've kind of changed my opinion on that. Great action. Uma Thurman is a great, female lead as the bride, as Beatrix Kiddo, as she's known. Yeah, just very, very good action in these movies. Great drama with her and Bill and all that, and, and killing all the other members of the assassination team she's a part of. Michael Madsen's one of the members. Daryl Hannah's one of the members. So, some great characters in here. Vivica A. Fox. But yeah, just, I don't know. For me, Kill Bill isn't, like, it doesn't hold up as well for me anymore. I'm a little older now. It works better when you're younger, I guess, when you're a teenager. Still great, though. Great tributes to Japanese films and, samurai films and all that. You got Sonny Chiba in the movie. The first, actually, no, I think he was in both, wasn't he? He played, what's his name? Hattori Hanzo. There you go, right? Sonny Chiba. Trying to think. I'm trying to see his name on here. Yeah, Sonny Chiba. There you go. He's like a famous actor. Anyways, 1 and 2, Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. Great movies, just not like my favorites anymore. Yeah, I don't know. I have much else to say. Now, this next ranking is going to be a shock for people. Like, you're going to be like, why do you have it so low? It should be number 1. And that is Pulp Fiction. I know a lot of people are going to be mad about this, because this is, 6th place out of 7 or 8 or 9, right? Now, here's the thing about Pulp Fiction. When I first saw this movie, I loved it. I put it in like my top 5 favorite movies. I had a huge poster for it. That was like a 3D kind of poster thing. Pretty cool. I still have it, but it's not up anymore. Uh, Pulp Fiction, great movie, very well made, great performances, great stories, great characters, just a very fun time to watch. Now, here's the thing with this movie. What was it? 10th grade? No, 11th grade. I had a film teacher, right? I also had her in 12th grade. When you take a film class, you learn certain things about certain movies that you've grown to love, certain directors you've grown to appreciate. You learn things, the teachers explain things to you that make you rethink, what you thought you knew. Now, this film teacher I had, I won't say her name or anything, but she was very good. She knew what she was doing. She really knew a lot about film and all that. And she really enlightened me to how flawed this movie is and how flawed Tarantino is as a director, actually. Now, I'm not saying anything negative. I still think he's great. I'm not letting her perception, I'm not letting that film teacher change my perception overall of the person or anything. But she definitely pointed out a lot of flaws in this movie that I never saw when I watched it for myself. She pointed out, several things about how female characters are handled in this movie. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, you're complaining about you're trying to be a feminist or something. No, I'm not trying to be a feminist or anything, but she did make a good point. She's told me that if you watch Pulp Fiction and look at every single female character in the movie, maybe aside from Uma Thurman's character, I don't know, but all of them are annoying or just all they're doing is hindering all the male, characters in the movie. Like, for instance, Bruce Willis's girlfriend in the movie. She makes a dumb decision to forget his watch, his grandfather's watch, when they're trying to, leave town or whatever. And also, what's his name? Eric Stoltz's wife, played by Rosanna Arquette. All she does is yell at him and nag at him, and, the house is a mess, and she just screams at him and bugs him, and, also Uma Thurman's character, she has her own story arc and all that. She's a strong character, but she also causes trouble for John Travolta by snorting heroin or whatever. Now, I know, you could say, oh, it's just, he's not really, saying females are just stupid or annoying or anything. Yeah, I get that. I'm sure Quentin Tarantino's not trying to be misogynistic on purpose. But if you really look at the movie, it's kind of like, yeah, I think my film teacher was right, because none of the females in this movie are doing anything good for the plot. Like, and she also points out a lot of the dialogue is kind of dumb, when they're talking in the car about the burgers. I don't think it's dumb. I think it's kind of entertaining. But it's just like, she makes a kind of a good point. I don't know. She's like, this movie doesn't really have conversations that matter. I don't know. I can't really explain it, but back in 10th grade, or no, 11th grade, 12th grade, she really enlightened me to this movie. There's more things she said, but I can't remember. There's a lot of other things in the movie that are flawed. I don't know. She really did change my eyes on this, but Pulp Fiction back in the day would have been like number one for me. I don't know. When I watch it now, it just doesn't have the same effect anymore. I don't know. There's just a lot of flaws in the movie. That's all I can say. But it's still great. Like, I know I've been ranting about the movie, but it's still fantastic. Still very well made. It's iconic. Samuel L. Jackson, best performance I've seen him give ever. The whole cast is great. The stories are very good. I don't know. It's just very flawed. That's all I can say. Pulp Fiction, I thought it was a masterpiece, but it kind of isn't. I don't know. I'm not trying to be, an asshole or anything, but I don't know. I can't really explain it. Anyways, next up we have Jackie Brown. Now, this is Tarantino's most underrated movie for sure. I really want to put it higher because I think it deserves to be higher. It's just I haven't seen it a million bajillion times. I know I said I only saw Death Proof like 5 times, but I've probably seen Jackie Brown like 6 times, Not really rewatchable too much. Never really want to say, oh, I want to watch Jackie Brown. But it's still a great movie. Like, it's got a lot of great stuff in it. Robert De Niro's in it, which is awesome. Samuel L. Jackson does a very good performance as the villain. Trying to think of his name. I can't think of his name. But anyways, he's very good in the movie. Pam Grier, of course, iconic. In the blaxploitation movies in the '70s. She did a very good job in this movie as like an older version of her old self, I guess you could say. And you can tell, like I said, Tarantino's a big fan of movies. He's covered Japanese samurais, he's covered gangster movies, he's covered westerns, he's covered, blaxploitation movies, he's covered '70s grindhouse, He's pretty much covered almost everything you can cover. Like, he's going to be doing Star Trek next, apparently, which is crazy. So science fiction. Next he needs to do a horror movie. That'd be nice. But anyways, Jackie Brown, very good movie. Don't have much else to say about it. It's just, I don't know. It's a very solid movie. It's just underrated. More people need to appreciate this one. And like I said, I would put it higher. It's just, I just never really want to watch it. I never really want to, I don't know. I never just think to watch this movie. And I haven't seen it enough times to, I haven't seen it a bajillion times like the other ones. But Jackie Brown, very solid movie. Great stuff in it. Michael Keaton's in it as well. Chris Tucker also has a part in it. But yeah, Samuel L. Jackson and Pam Grier are definitely the best parts of this. And also, Robert Forster. There you go. Another great performance in this movie. He did an excellent job in this. But yeah, just great soundtrack as well. Across 110th Street. Yeah, just very good movie. Very underrated. Jackie Brown right there. Alright, next up, I have Django Unchained. I really do love Django Unchained. Now, I have one huge flaw with this movie. One big complaint. It's the N-word thing. Now, I know a lot of people were expecting that. Now, here's the thing with the N-word. It doesn't offend me necessarily, but I get it. I get why people were mad at this movie. And yes, I understand. It's slavery time. You need to include the word. But here's my problem with it. The N-word thing is used for comedy in this movie. Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not like a person that gets offended or anything like that. Like, I can take a joke or whatever. I can, I don't get mad at certain things. I'll be like, all right, whatever, I can just let things pass by. But the thing is with Django Unchained, this movie is really amazing. Like, it's fantastic. Christoph Waltz, Jamie Foxx, DiCaprio, Samuel Jackson, everybody is great in this movie. The Western feel was in there. The action was fantastic. I don't know. The movie it's just very good. I almost want to call it a masterpiece, but here's the thing. The N-word comedy stuff just really detracts from the movie. It just makes it silly. Now, like I said, I'm not mad at it. I'm not, offended by it. I don't hate it. It's just, it really makes the movie less. It just really drops the movie down to where it could be. It could be on this huge, high level, but now it's like down here because of that. Just a lot of goofiness in the movie that did not need to be there. Like Tarantino does this thing where like he'll have you laughing at like he'll take the movie in like to a 180. Like the part where they're having the shootout at the house. And, it's like a serious moment. Christoph Waltz, I don't want to give spoilers, but a certain main character gets killed. It's sad. And then they're having this big shootout. And then all of a sudden, Tarantino just wants to make things funny. There's a guy lying on the floor getting shot 1,000 times. Like, yeah, it's funny, but it's like, okay, did you really need to, like, throw that in there? It's just like a weird 180 that does not need to happen. Tarantino does that a lot. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you'll have a great epic movie, but then he'll just do something stupid. Like, the part where he's in it, he actually plays a cameo in this movie. All his movies has a cameo. But it's like, okay, he cannot act. I'm sorry, Tarantino is not really a good actor. He plays like an Australian guy or something in this. It's like when he shows up, the movie just stops. It's like, I don't know. He always he has something great going on, and he just includes something funny in it that just kind of ruins the moment. Like the part where at the end where Django is in the house and he shoots the lady and she goes flying back 1,000 feet. It's like that did not need to happen. Like I don't hate it. I'm not against it. It's just it really detracts from the movie. It makes it go down a level. But yeah, like I said, regardless, Django Unchained is fantastic. I think it's just a lot of goofiness in the movie that did not need to be there. That really brings it down for me. And yeah, I did see this in theaters actually when it came out on my birthday, so that was cool. Back in 2000, well, this came out at the end of 2012, so it was, my birthday's January, so it was January 2013, I guess I saw this. But yeah, very good movie though. Christoph Waltz, fantastic. I'm glad he won an Oscar for it. And DiCaprio should have got nominated because he was fantastic also in the movie. Anyways, Django, yeah, that's where I put it. Next is the Hateful Eight. Now this one is awesome. I love Hateful Eight. Now it kind of had the same problem as Django with the N-word thing, kind of being used for comedy. But it wasn't as bad. Like, I don't think it was, like, okay, there's one scene with, what's his name? Tim Roth, and he keeps saying the N-word. You know what scene I'm talking about. He's like, that guy, he has the Lincoln letter. The N-word thing in this it's used a lot also. It's very similar to Django in terms of that. It's also kind of a Western movie. But I really do love this movie because there's a lot. I love movies. I mentioned this in the Kevin Smith video I just did, the ranking movie of his movies with Mallrats. I love movies that take place in like one setting mainly, and this takes place in like one place for most of it. And I love the snow. I love the cinematography. The music's fantastic by Ennio Morricone, who finally won an Oscar, which was for this movie. I'm very happy about that, because I think he's like the best film composer of all time, probably. Great performances. Samuel Jackson is phenomenal in this movie. Kurt Russell's great. Jennifer Jason Leigh's great in it. It's just, here's the problem. There is violence against Jennifer Jason Leigh in this movie. Jennifer Jason Leigh, sorry. That is used for comedy. Again, I'm not trying to be a feminist or anything like, oh, okay, he's hitting a woman, blah, 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 it's horrible. No, I mean, I get it. She's a bad person. Her character is a horrible person. She deserves to be hit. She deserves to be, dragged everywhere and, punched in the face, whatever. But it's used for comedy, and I don't really, again, Tarantino does this thing where he has something great, he has, like, a masterpiece, but he throws in the stupid stuff that doesn't need to be there. Like, every time Kurt Russell's character just beats her up, it's like you're supposed to be laughing, I guess. I don't know, it's just really silly and ridiculous. I just wish Tarantino wouldn't do stuff like that. But again, Hateful Eight is a very good movie. I almost want to call it a masterpiece as well. But I can't, because there's, like, silliness in it. But yeah, just great stuff. I've watched this, like, a bajillion times. I love it. So yeah. Next up is Inglourious Bastards. Now, here's the thing. Along with Django and Hateful Eight, I feel like Inglourious Bastards, like, fits in with these two movies. These three movies, Django, Hateful Eight, and Inglourious Bastards, all have this certain, like, 2.5 hour... masterpiece kind of feel to them. You know what I'm talking about? They're his more recent movies, his three most recent movies, and they all have a same kind of aura going on about them. The thing with Inglourious Bastards, though, it does not have any silliness in it. I mean, you do have the Hitler stuff in there, which is kind of funny. 999 and all that, and, him getting shot a bajillion times at the end. But there's nothing stupid in this movie. So, this is why I have it ranked higher than those two, is because they're all on that masterpiece level, that masterpiece-esque kind of level. It's just Inglourious Bastards doesn't have any stupidness in it. Now, this is a great movie, World War II, Nazi, kind of a war movie, I guess. Brad Pitt's in it, Christoph Waltz won an Oscar. One of the best performances I've ever seen as Hans Landa. You got Bridget von Hammersmark right there. You got Shoshana Dreyfus, right? That's her name. I was a big fan of this movie when it came out. Me and my friend Rob, we would always quote this movie, the Bear Jew and all that. And man, this movie is fantastic. I really do love it. A lot of great dialogue, a lot of great tension. That scene in the tavern with Michael Fassbender. This movie also introduced me to Michael Fassbender, who's one of my favorite actors. He did a phenomenal job in this. Eli Roth right there, great as the Bear Jew. Yeah, just very good movie. I'm not afraid to call this a masterpiece. Just very well done. Yeah, I don't have much else to say, but Inglourious Bastards does the job. It really is that great. Yeah, almost 2.5 hours, right? 2 hours, 33 minutes, yeah. So, yeah, Inglourious Bastards, great movie. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. Alright, number 1 is Reservoir Dogs. Now, call me biased, but, this is always going to be my favorite Tarantino movie. You know, it was his first movie, and sometimes, you know, it's always the case of the first one is the best. And yeah, in my opinion, it really is. Reservoir Dogs does something for me that none of the other movies do. This movie is like infinitely rewatchable. That's a term I like to give to certain movies that you can just watch anytime. The characters are great, the dialogues are great, the scenarios are great, the performances are great. You know, I guess I'll call this a masterpiece as well because I like it more than Inglourious Bastards. So I don't know. Reservoir Dogs is just like amazing. It really is my favorite Tarantino movie. It always has been. You know, I'm not gonna lie though. Pulp Fiction, when I first saw it, was my favorite, but obviously I don't think of it as much. I don't hold it to a higher standard anymore. Reservoir Dogs just really, it hits. You know, it hits the marks on every level. I don't know. I don't have much else to say. Michael Madsen is fantastic as Mr. Blonde. Steve Buscemi, Mr. Pink. Harvey Keitel, Mr. White. Tim Roth, Mr. Orange. Just, I don't know. Great movie. I mean, my only negative I would say is that literally the last act of the movie, the last 15 or so minutes, does not feel as great as the rest of the movie. Just like the ending overall does not feel as good as the rest of the movie does, but it's still a great ending. I don't know, just a very good movie. I don't know how much else to say. Yeah, just great heist movie. Heist gone wrong movie. Yeah, that's about it. I don't know. Reservoir Dogs. Anyways, thanks for watching this, guys. Long video. Yeah, where do you rank these movies? Do you think I made any mistakes? I'm assuming a lot of people are going to attack me for what I said about Pulp Fiction. I don't know. I guess I just didn't explain it as well. I didn't explain it that good. I don't know. But anyways, thanks for watching this. That's my ranking. Yeah, Tarantino. Still a great director, in my opinion. I don't hate him or anything. He can make some good movies. So, yeah. Reservoir Dogs, #1. And, like I said, let me know your ranking and if I made any mistakes. So, thanks for watching this, and have a good one. Bye-bye.